I've been spinning poi since 1999. I got started spinning glow sticks at raves. By parameterizing how I thought of poi, it turns out that I can tweak those parameters in the 3D modeling program and come up with patterns that I hadn't even thought of yet very quickly. Analyzing those patterns in the computer gives me more creative ideas to go back and explore in the real world. When I played with those ideas long enough, I internalized them and really start dancing with them, and then simulate it to better understand it analytically. So eventually I start to get a feedback loop between flowing and intuitive practice and simulating things on the computer.
Degrees of twist refers to how wound up your hands are. Uncrossed hands have 0 degrees of twist. Crossing them over by winding half of a turn makes 1 degree of twist. Crossing another half turn gives 2 degrees of twist. More twisting requires serious contortion, but follows the same naming sequence. Degrees of twist are useful in describing multiple beat weaves and butterflies, inversions and introversions, and various tangles.
The things that worked best for myself when training poi was starting to use the fundamental inherent energy fields of the human body. So I started imagining these fields around me, and then I would try to mimic the motions with my poi swinging. The neat aspect about using this geometry is that it comes back into play with the natural motion that the poi already has. So you use those same proportions with your arms and your body, and all of a sudden you can create large imprints of mandalas around you. The key part of this that is so awakening in my spirit is that the center of every single one of those mandalas is the human heart. Understanding how to categorize the movements using geometry is just going to give you a much deeper look into yourself. What I've started to discover with logic and flow, which ties back into the masculine, feminine, left and right brain, is that the more I could study the logical side of poi and how the poi moved and what was moving and really grasp at that reality, I was also able to further my effortless states, my flow states, out of working so hard logically to try to discover this movement. And then, boom, it was a flow state, and that flow would take me into the next logical format, and I would be able to categorize it and name it, thus moving forward. Logic and flow. You can never really have enough of either. Flow logic, who knows?
When more and more people started doing it, then more and more people are getting hired for gigs. And since I started getting really into it, it started becoming my main source of income. I realized that when there was competition out there, it really helped me to be more creative, because it's like, okay, do I want them to get the gig or do I want to get the gig? Well, of course I want to get the gig. I have rent to pay, I have food to buy. So what can I do to get this gig? Well, I can come up with more fire props. I can come up with different costumes. I can come up with whole shows, elaborate shows that are choreographed or that have characters in them or that have symbolism or some sort of spirituality involved in it. I can study my dance, like I can take belly dance lessons, I can take African dance lessons, I can take tap dance, whatever I want to take, to utilize that and put it into the fire dancing. Making money, fire dancing has really pushed me to just push my limits of creativity and just constantly driving through and just being like, okay, what can I do next? What can I do next? Just like pioneering it.
Click on this TV screen up here, but do it fast because it's getting really heavy and I can hardly hold it up anymore. Did you click yet? No, just go ahead. Click on it. Okay. If you haven't clicked now, man, it's totally, you missed your chance.